sweets and sweets have arrived. Place in the world that will be protected. Now, top priority.
Sorry? Yeah, I think it's a historic day in many ways. We have three countries, Moldova, Georgia, and Ukraine, who signed an association agreement. It's symbolic on two accounts. Number one, the events in Ukraine unfolded because of the association agreement. Two, this is a clear indication that free and independent states want to work with liberal democracy and market economy. I think this is a victory for the European Union and for the three states in question.
Is the UK closer to leaving the EU?
I do not think that the UK is any closer to leaving the EU, and I think it's very important that we have the UK in the European Union as a fully fledged member state. The market economy reforms, the reforms to the internal market that the United Kingdom supports, is something that we should all strive for, because after all the European Union is based on the free movement of goods, services, labour and money.
Mr. Prime Minister, what do you wish Georgia?
What do I wish Georgia? Good luck.
What about the Stability Pact?
The Stability and Growth Pact should be based on two pillars. Stability first. It needs no more flexibility. This whole financial crisis had its start with the opening of the Stability and Growth Pact. Second, growth. We can do three things with growth. One is structural reform at home. Two is the liberalization of the internal market. And three is free trade. We should not create an illusion that we as state actors or politicians can create growth. Growth is created by enterprises, entrepreneurs and workers. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thanks. Hi, how are you? You all right?
Congratulations.
Thanks.
Good. Right. A decision on Juncker today, a positive decision, gives fuel and ammunition to the Eurosceptics in the UK. How can the EU and other countries here help Cameron with this?
Well, I think first of all we need to build some bridges. I think it's very important that the program that Juncker puts forward is very market-oriented. The UK has been calling for economic reform, and I support that very strongly. We need to focus on the internal market, we need to focus on free trade, we need to focus on the free movement of goods, services, labour and money.
Do you acknowledge, though, that the defeat for David Cameron on this issue could actually tip the balance as far as the perception of UK membership in the EU going forward?
I don't think the EU is a zero-sum game where you lose or gain. I think David Cameron is a very principled man, and he has felt strongly that Juncker is a little bit too federalist for his liking. But I think we can all make amends. I think we can all solve the situation. And I think in the UK, some people really seriously need to wake up and smell the coffee. The European Union is a very good thing for the United Kingdom. Over 50% of the trade of the UK goes to the EU. If that were to be cut off, I think the continent would be cut off seriously.
Can I also ask about the situation right now in the east of Ukraine? Do you think we've seen enough of a de-escalation there to justify no further sanctions on Russia?
Well, I had a breakfast meeting, bilateral breakfast meeting this morning with President Poroshenko, and he felt very strongly about the sanctions. It's important that we keep up the pressure. At the same time, it's very important that we find the right balance. I think there's good news in terms of the dialogue between Putin and Poroshenko. I think there's good news with a ceasefire, but the bad news is that the border is still unstable. There are over 20 deaths during the ceasefire, so we need to find a solution to this, but so far so good.
The ceasefire isn't holding, though, as you quite rightly said there. The separatists are completely disobeying it. How do we move forward? Was he talking about harsher sanctions?
He was not talking about harsher sanctions, but he was talking about keeping up the pressure on sanctions.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Of the 7 years' work. It's absolutely a new perspective for my country. And I think this is one of the most historic days after getting the independence. And I think that we can use this opportunity to modernize the country. The only thing we need for that is a peace and security. And we also hope that today European Union will demonstrate the same solidarity as before. Thank you.
Political association leaders.
It'll be a great day for...
Hvad er set med dine øjne nu den største udfordring for at få den øvrige kabale til at falde på plads, efter at Juncker gerne skulle være stemt igennem i dag?
Det er heldigvis ikke det, vi diskuterer i dag. I dag koncentrerer vi os om to ting. For det første skal vi færdiggøre de her strategiske prioriteringer for, hvad EU skal gøre i de næste 5 år. Det er første gang, vi har sat os ned og fokuseret ind på, hvad er det egentlig, vi skal prioritere i de næste år. Og det er jeg meget tilfreds med, at vi har den diskussion. Danmark har gjort meget for at få vores indflydelse gjort gældende, og det er lykkedes. Det er et rigtig fint papir, hvor man også kan se, at vi har været der i form af den konkrete tekst, så det er jeg meget tilfreds med. Udover det, så skal vi formentlig vedtage, at Juncker er vores bud på en formand for kommissionen, og det regner jeg med går igennem i dag.
Hvor alvorligt er det, at Cameron vil kræve en afstemning om Juncker?
Jamen, vi har jo hele tiden syntes, at vi skulle prøve at finde en løsning, som alle kunne leve med. Det ser ud til nu, at der kommer en afstemning, og vores opgave er derefter at forsøge at klinke skårene og sikre, at vi igen får Storbritannien på banen. Jeg synes jo, vi har brug for et stærkt Storbritannien i det europæiske fællesskab, så hvis der er noget, vi kan gøre bagefter for at sikre, at Storbritannien kommer ind i kampen, og vi får klinket skårene, så vil vi selvfølgelig gøre det.
Men er der ligefrem områder, hvor du er parat til at ændre dansk EU-politik for at imødekomme David Cameron?
Undskyld, jeg hørte simpelthen, hvad du sagde.
Er der ligefrem områder, hvor du er parat til at ændre på dansk EU-politik for at imødekomme David Cameron?
Nej, det er slet ikke det, det handler om. Altså, jeg plejer danske interesser, og det har vi også gjort i forhold til de strategiske prioriteringer. Vi har kæmpet meget hårdt for, at det skulle være en tekst, som afspejler det, vi er optaget af. Og det er jo, at vi skal sørge for at holde sammen på de 28 lande. Det er, at vi skal sikre, at vi også respekterer nærhedsprincippet, at vi koncentrerer os om det, der er vigtigt i øjeblikket, at det er jo vækst og beskæftigelse primært. Og så har vi en diskussion, vi også har rejst igennem noget tid. Det er jo den her diskussion med, at vi skal kombinere den fri bevægelighed med også at sikre, at vi kan passe på vores velfærdssamfund.
Vi skal også diskutere Ukraine. Er I på vej mod nye sanktioner over for Rusland?
Vi skal diskutere Ukraine, og alting afhænger egentlig af, hvad der sker i dag. Og jeg har hele tiden sagt, at vi skal have 2 spor. Vi skal have et forhandlingsspor til Rusland, når de opfører sig på en måde, som vi synes er fremmende for fred i regionen, men vi skal også have vores sanktioner klar, hvis det skulle blive nødvendigt, og det er også det, vi har i dag.
Den danske EU-observatør fra OSCE, der har været tilbageholdt i Ukraine i flere uger, er blevet frigivet. Hvad er din kommentar til det?
Jamen, det er jeg jo selvfølgelig utrolig glad for, da jeg fik meddelelsen om det. Det glæder mig virkelig meget, og jeg håber selvfølgelig ikke, at han har på nogen måde lidt overlast, og nu kommer hjem. Det, som vi selvfølgelig tænker på i dag, det er, at der er stadig observatører, som er tilbageholdte, og der skal nu gøres rigtig meget for at få dem fri også.
Har du nogle yderligere oplysninger om hans situation?
Is Britain closer to leaving the EU because of David Cameron's position?
I certainly hope not. I believe that the UK needs Europe, but I also think that Europe needs Great Britain to be part of us. They have a valid contribution to the Union, and I very much hope that after today we can get back on track where the UK is an important partner and an influential partner in the European Union.
David Cameron says that leaders' private concerns about Jean-Claude Juncker they are hiding, that you all really know he's not the man for the job?
Well, I'm not hiding any private concerns. I believe that Jean-Claude Juncker is an experienced politician who has worked pragmatically for the European Union for many, many years. And I think what we need to focus in on right now is the strategic priorities for the Union, and that is exactly what we are doing now. This is the first time in a very long time where we actually have had a discussion about what we should be doing in the European Union, and in my opinion that is much more important than who should be doing it.
Will it damage Britain?
No, I don't hope so. I hope that the UK will be back in the game and take their influence over the next months, and that should. We really need the UK in the European Union.
Thank you.
It will be a great day for the strategic goal to have these countries in economic integration and political association with us. And today, in spite of all the difficulties, we are going to sign the agreements with Ukraine, with Moldova and Georgia, which I believe has a deep meaning, not only for those countries that want to consolidate rule of law, reforms, open societies, but also for all of Europe. It shows that our process of European integration is indeed something that can inspire many others also outside the European Union.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Morning. Well, I'm pleased to see that. I'm pleased to see that EU will take a big step forward with the association agreements today, and of course, since now it's up to the three countries to go on reforming, go on fulfilling all the criteria. My country knows firsthand that everything we needed to do in order to be capable for EU accession 10 years ago, we actually did for our own countries. Those reforms are utmost needed, not so much for Brussels, not so much for other countries, but especially for the countries doing the reforms and the people of those countries. Thank you very much. Good morning.
Good morning. Can I just ask you, as a former Soviet bloc country, how important and symbolic is it to see the likes of Ukraine, Moldova and Georgia sign association agreements today?
Well, first of all, I wouldn't call Estonia a former Soviet bloc country. Estonia was occupied by the Soviet Union, which is a totally different thing. But I think today Europe takes a big step forward with the association agreements. Since now a lot has to be done, of course, by the countries, we do remember firsthand that when we entered the EU, we had to do lots of reforming, and we didn't do it for Brussels. We did it actually for ourselves. All of the reforms that European accession is asking, or might even say demanding, are actually important for the countries, not so much for Brussels.
If we see greater prosperity, better institutions, stronger countries in the countries surrounding Russia, do you think we could see a spillover effect that will actually challenge the less democratic ruling elite in Russia?
I hope, I do hope that all the countries that have chosen the European way will find that their countries more prosperous in times to come. EU accession is not only economic prosperity, what it is definitely also. EU accession also means more freedoms. It is a very positive way for many countries.
Even if we aren't talking about moving to phase 3 sanctions today on Russia, should we be talking about it?
Well, that's up to our discussions today, and I don't think we should comment it before the discussions.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sveiki. Tā.
Par Junkeru vispirms, vai ir lēmums jau pieņemts?
Ne, nu lēmumu mēs pieņemsim tagad, šodien, bet principā jā. Kopumā ir atbalsts Junkeram.
Vai mums patīk šī kandidatūra?
Jā, mēs par viņu balsojām tās partijas kongresā, un Dombrovska kungs noņem savu kandidatūru labu Junkeru kungam. Tā kā mēs atbalstam Junkeru kungu, jā.
Un šodien arī parakstīs līgumu ar Ukrainu, Gruziju, Moldovu. Kā jūs redzat šo soli?
Nu, šīs valstis tiešām ļoti ir tālu ceļu gājušas uz šo līgumu parakstīšanu. Ukrainu šodien parakstam ekonomikas daļu, jo politiskā daļa jau ir parakstīta, un būs arī Ukrainas prezidents šeit, Poрошенko kungs, un premjeri Moldovas un Gruzijas. Manuprāt, tas ir ļoti svarīgi šīm valstīm, un tas parāda viņu virzienu uz Eiropu. Tas ir svarīgi, un mēs arī apspriedīsim Ukrainas situāciju un arī Eiropas tālāku rīcību. Un šodien 10. beigsies pamieru nosacījumi, jāskatās, kā tā tiks izpildīta. Un ņemot vērā to, kā tas tiks izpildīts, tad tiks lemts par tālāku Eiropas Savienības rīcību.
Runāsiet arī par enerģētikas jautājumiem, varbūt kāda būs Latvijas pozīcija?
Nu, mums ir ļoti svarīgi, mēs atbalstam pirmkārt kopējo Eiropas enerģētikas stratēģiju. Mums ir svarīgi, lai tie projekti, kas ir pielikumā, tiktu izpildīti, jo tur ir mums nepieciešami projekti šobrīd iestrādāti. Nu, jā, mums ir svarīgi, lai teiksim, šis klimata drošība neaizēmot mūsu enerģētisko drošību. Mums ir svarīgi, mēs to uzsvērsim, ka mums ir svarīga enerģētikas drošība.
Paldies, mums vienkārši nav laika vēl tas laukus.
CMC, Julia Čārlis.
Jā.
Vai mēs atbalstam enerģētikas savienību?
Kas tad?
Vai mēs atbalstam enerģētikas savienību?
Mums nav laika,
Prime Minister, thank you so much. Can I ask what your message is to the leaders of Georgia and Ukraine to sign their their association agreements today?
Latvia is welcome. Georgia and Moldova, and we really are satisfied that today it's possible to sign such an agreement, and especially economic part with Ukraine. And I'm pleased to we will meet the prime ministers of these two countries from previous Soviet Union.
Absolutely. Do you think it helps strengthen the region against the threat of Russia and the former Soviet countries?
It's difficult to say about threats, but anyway, it's will help to develop society in really democratic society in Georgia and Moldova, and I think it's very important for people from these countries.
Are you going to continue to push the EU? Can I just, one more? Is that right? Are you going to continue to push the EU today to take further actions against Russia with regards to East Ukraine?
We will see, because today at 10 o'clock we will see how Russia will behave, and then we will see. We really support all these actions did till now, but we will see about development. And if there will be the escalation, then we will be happy.
We have to wait and see.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You must help the journalists, you know.
Yeah.
So. Well, I think still there's need for more reforms in Europe. I think it's very important that we have said that the Stability and Growth Pact is still, as it were, and it opened for flexibility already the way it has been built up. I think the important discussions we are having is the reform program for the coming years, which points out very much the importance of trade, of getting a better single market. This is the way to create jobs in Europe. Absolutely. Extremely important that we now sign these agreements. We give the signal that Europe is attractive for many outside of European Union and that we are close neighbors to these countries.
Have you no longer standing with Mr. Cameron in his concerns about the appointment of the President of the Commission?
I think it's very important to state that we have had the same view on this all along. It's a matter of principle. We think that this Spitzenkandidat structure rocks the constitution around. We want it the way it should be, that it starts with consultations after elections from the Council, and that this consultation is done with both institutions. It's an issue of balance between the institutions. It has not been about names for me. I think it's the right principle, once you have an election result, that the biggest group in European Parliament can put forward a candidate, and that's Jean-Claude Juncker, and Herman Van Rompuy has presented that that's the person that can get elected. And one should remember that these international jobs are very difficult to actually get a person elected, and therefore he must be presented as some person that can be elected both by European Council and by the Parliament. And since Herman Van Rompuy has presented that, we can support it. Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much. Prime Minister, will you be throwing your weight behind Jean-Claude Juncker today?
Yes, but we have had complaints about the process in itself. Sweden thinks that this Spitzenkandidat that has been presented is the wrong way to do this. It should be an election result. The biggest group should be able to present a candidate, and there should be an institutional balance between the heads of state and government, the elected governments on the one side, and the European Parliament on the other side. Now we think that Herman Van Rompuy has done this. He has spoken to both of the institutions, and he has presented that Jean-Claude Juncker is the person that is possible to be elected, because it's very often that what people forget is that this is often very tough. And since he has presented that, and Jean-Claude Juncker comes from the EPP group that I'm also part of, we can support him.
So you have a great deal of sympathy, I guess, for David Cameron, because you have very similar views on this.
Well, we share his view in the criticism of the principle of the Spitzenkandidat. I share the concerns, of course, how this should be interpreted in Britain, because it's a core value for us that Britain stays inside European Union. Then we get a politically and economically stronger European cooperation. It's also in the best interest of the United Kingdom. That is my belief. So I hope that he's happy with the program in itself. We have discussed it in a meeting in Sweden, looking very much at conditions for trade, for free trade agreements, for increasing competitiveness, where we are very like-minded. And the program in itself is more important than actually the persons elected.
The Finnish Prime Minister just said to me that UK voters need to wake up and smell the coffee as far as European membership is concerned. Would you agree with him?
Well, this is not new to Europe, that we have different points of views when it comes to persons. You could find that in the history as well.
But this could tip the balance against the UK membership in the EU. It's very painful for David Cameron with the Eurosceptics in the UK.
But he and the British people has friends inside European Union who like British politics, who like British people and wants them to stay inside European Union. Maybe we should voice that a little bit clearly so that they hear us.
But you didn't do that today. And you won't do that today?
I've stuck with my principles, and I've done so from the start. And I also have a parliament to take care of, and I think the way that Herman Van Rompuy now has done this is the correct way, and he has presented the person who actually can be voted in, which is very important. Thank you. Thank you.
Firstly, I would like to say that it's important that Europe is a peace project, and yesterday in Ypres we remembered about why Europe is important and to be 28 at the table. The priorities are very important. I think that the last signal we had from the last elections proves that European citizens want answers to the questions they have, and I hope that we'll be able to give them today. Yeah, it's important. It's important to underline. It's important to underline to the Moldovans that we have common interests. Hello. I think we have today
Vous nous avez manqué hier.
Gaat u meneer Jonker steunen? Steunt u Jonker?
Ja, ik ken Jonker heel goed. Ik heb met hem veel samengewerkt. En hij is the right man in the right place. Dus België steunt Jonker, ja.
Vraagt u soepeler toepassing van de begrotingsregels? Begrotingsregels van het stabiliteitspact?
We hebben gisteravond een goede discussie gehad over de stabiliteit en groeipakten en ook de modaliteit voor de flexibiliteit. En ik denk dat de tekst nu is oké. Met het respect van de stabiliteit en groeipact, maar ook de mogelijkheden voor flexibiliteit, in het bijzonder voor enkele landen die meer tijd nodig hebben.
De kandidaat Juncker, staat Groot-Brittannië nu helemaal geïsoleerd in Europa?
Dat is waar, maar tot nu toe. Er is bijna unanimiteit voor Juncker, behalve UK en misschien Hongarije. Maar bon, we zullen zien deze namiddag. Maar de regel nu in de Europese Unie is niet de unanimiteit, maar een brede meerderheid. Dus is het mogelijk om te stemmen ten gunste van Juncker.
Maar hoe moet het verder met de Belgische regeringsvorming?
Dat is een andere zaak, dat is een vraag voor de koning.
Wat vindt u er zelf van?
Voilà.
Zet Groot-Brittannië nu geen stap naar een exit, nu een eerste stap naar een exit?
Nee, maar om eerlijk te zijn, we begrijpen de Groot-Brittannië, maar Groot-Brittannië kan niet stoppen de vooruitgang van de hele Europa. David Cameron heeft zijn standpunt. Oké, ik respecteer zijn standpunt, maar de standpunt van de 26, 27 andere landen belangrijk ook is. Voilà.
Alors, Jean-Claude Juncker sera finalement élu ou pas, et quelle était l'ambiance hier?
Alors, c'est aujourd'hui que nous discuterons de M. Juncker, que je connais très bien, j'ai beaucoup travaillé avec lui, et qui est manifestement la personne adéquate pour la fonction de président de la Commission. En revanche, hier, nous avons parlé du programme de la prochaine Commission, et le climat était un climat très serein.
Selon les Britanniques, notamment les tabloïds, trop vieux, trop dangereux, trop fédéraliste, c'est l'image qu'ils ont du Juncker. Qu'est-ce que vous en pensez?
On peut comprendre, et c'est respectable leur point de vue, mais ils ne peuvent pas à eux seuls bloquer les 26 ou 27 autres pays qui seraient d'accord. À un moment donné, il faut admettre qu'il y a une très très large majorité au sein de l'Union européenne et que la majorité des pays veulent aller de l'avant. Et en plus, il y a eu des élections au Parlement européen. On a identifié des candidats. Clairement, le PPE avait choisi M. Juncker, le Parti socialiste Martin Schulz et le PPE arrive en tête. Je pense qu'on doit respecter les citoyens. C'est une manière aussi à l'avenir d'identifier davantage des enjeux européens.
Dans les enjeux, il y a notamment effectivement la discussion sur la fin du pacte de stabilité, en tout cas le relâchement.
Non. Donc il n'y a pas de fin. En revanche, donc il y a le respect du pacte, mais on a, si vous voulez, mis en évidence qu'il existe des modalités de flexibilité que l'on peut utiliser, notamment pour certains pays qui souhaitent atteindre l'équilibre budgétaire avec quelques années supplémentaires. Pour autant que les objectifs soient clairs et qu'il y ait des mesures pour qu'on atteigne cet équilibre, un certain degré de flexibilité existe. Mais vous savez, depuis que je suis arrivé au sommet européen, depuis la première fois, j'ai demandé qu'il y ait une relance économique et un peu plus de flexibilité pour éviter de faire mal aux entreprises et aux citoyens.
Cette flexibilité pourrait intéresser la Belgique? Relâcher
ça intéresse tous les pays concernés par le pacte.
Au niveau belge, quel est votre sentiment sur la situation?
Alors, mon sentiment dans ce stade, c'est que c'est entre les mains du roi et nous attendrons la décision royale. Merci.
Vous êtes confiant?
Merci. Vous allez bien? Vous voyez quand même, quelle équipe, hein?
10 ani, când încă nu se pomenea în concluziile Consiliului European despre Republica Moldova. Este o zi în care vedem împlinit un efort politic la nivel european, dar în același timp, și asta e de remarcat, efortul pe care l-au făcut guvernul lor a început filat un proces foarte inteligent, că a pus vizele întâi și pe urmă asocierea și acordul de liber schimb și sunt singurii care au obținut și una și alta până la ora asta. Deci am avut ce susține. Filat a început, Leanca a continuat și noi i-am susținut.
Mergeți în Republica Moldova să sărbătoriți?
Nu. Nu am niciun aranjament de genul ăsta. La revedere!
La revedere, mulțumim!
y lo hemos hecho luego y yo lo voy a hacer hoy en el Consejo Europeo y por tanto espero que sea la persona que se someta a votación en el Parlamento en próximas fechas. Y luego el segundo tema, que al final es el más importante, son las prioridades de la Unión Europea para los próximos 5 años. En el proyecto de conclusiones que hay, que supongo que no tendrá modificaciones importantes tras el debate de hoy, pues se recoge muy bien las propuestas que ha planteado España. La primera y capital, el crecimiento económico y el empleo. Esta es la prioridad fundamental en España. Creemos que debe serlo también en la Unión Europea. En segundo lugar, nos importa mucho como españoles todos los temas de energía. La energía es un factor de competitividad importante. Saben ustedes que hemos tenido que tomar decisiones a lo largo de estos últimos tiempos desde el gobierno. Queremos una energía que nos permita ser competitivos y queremos una energía barata y eficaz. Y también España ha presentado otra aportación en materia de libertad, seguridad y justicia, fundamentalmente en los temas de inmigración, donde queremos una legislación pues, que sea similar entre todos los países, y queremos también que la Unión Europea ayude a los países de donde viene mucha gente para que mejore su nivel de vida, para que salgan de la pobreza, se creen instituciones fuertes, ¿no? Por tanto, nosotros, si las cosas están como vienen, estamos satisfechos y pues, ahora iremos a defender nuestras posiciones.
El señor Cameron acaba de decir que Juncker es la persona equivocada. ¿Usted confía en que podamos superar esta situación de bloqueo?
Bueno, no, bloqueo no hay, pero claro, es una opinión que como es natural yo respeto, pero claro, resulta que somos 28, ¿no? Y calculo yo que 25 o 26 creen que no es la persona equivocada. Por tanto, yo no tengo nada más que hacer que respetar al señor Cameron y a todos los demás que tienen también su opinión.
¿Qué le parece la marcha del señor Rubalcaba?
La marcha del señor Rubalcaba. Bueno, pues yo creo que el Partido Socialista pierde un activo muy importante y la política española también, ¿no? Rubalcaba ha sido durante muchos años pues, un político importante en nuestro país, ha estado en el gobierno de España y desde luego tiene mi respeto y mi consideración. Y en la última etapa tengo que decir que los grandes temas de Estado, por ejemplo, en estos temas de los que estamos hablando hoy aquí, los temas europeos, siempre ha tenido una actuación muy positiva y muy constructiva con España. Por tanto, tiene mi respeto y mi consideración.
Presidente, ministro, ¿quién será el presidente del Eurogrupo?
Bueno, eso no se sabe todavía, eso ya hay que esperar hoy no se va a tratar ese asunto, o sea que eso hay que esperar. Bueno,
gracias.
Muchísimas gracias. Gracias.
signing will be preceded by 5 speeches. I now give the floor to His Excellencies Mr. Herman van Ромпей, President of the European Council.
Distinguished Presidents and Prime Ministers, Excellencies, dear colleagues, I wholeheartedly welcome President Petro Poroshenko of Ukraine, Prime Minister Irakli Garibashvili of Georgia, and Prime Minister Yuri Yanka of the Republic of Moldova. We are here to sign the association agreements between the European Union and each of your countries. These are not just any other agreements, but milestones in the history of our relations and for Europe as a whole. In Kiev and elsewhere, people gave their lives for this closer link to the European Union. We will not forget them. Stronger political and economic ties will bring greater stability and prosperity to the entire European continent. Such cooperation can only be based on common values: democracy, human rights, fundamental freedoms, and the rule of law. It must be inspired by our vision of the unique value of each person. This signing is an arrival point after 2 decades of our relations growing stronger. But it is also a starting point, opening the most ambitious external relationship ever developed with the European Union. These agreements are not the final stage of our cooperation. To fully benefit from what they can offer, your 3 countries will continue pursuing efforts to transform your societies, deepening democracy and modernizing the economy. This is the path you have chosen. The European Union will be at your side all along the way, bringing political, technical and financial support. Our joint goal is your full integration into the market of the European Union, the world's richest and largest. Free visa travel will bring our societies closer. It is already there for Moldova. Above all, the transformations in your societies and public administrations should result in safer and more prosperous lives for your citizens. Lives fully within the European family to which they rightfully belong, to which we all belong. I cannot conclude without referring to the very difficult security challenges that Ukraine is currently facing, nor to the uncertainty looming over relations between the Russian Federation and Georgia and Moldova. My first message is that the European Union stands by your side, today more than ever before. You have our support and solidarity and our recognition of your territorial integrity. My second message is that there is nothing in these agreements, nor in the European Union's approach, that might harm Russia in any way. The European Union stands ready to engage with Russia as much as need be, to dispel misunderstandings where they may exist, and to chart together a safer future for our common continent. Our Union wants a stable European continent that we all share. Future generations in Ukraine, Moldova and Georgia will remember this day. It is a great day for Europe. Thank you.
José Manuel Barroso, President of the European Commission.
Excellencies, Heads of State and Government, President Poroshenko,
Prime Minister Garibashvili, Prime Minister Leanka, distinguished guests. Today, we are signing association agreements between the European Union and three important European countries: Georgia, the Republic of Moldova, and Ukraine. This is indeed a historic day for the three countries themselves, for the European Union, for the whole of Europe. For our three partners, it is a recognition of the significant progress made over recent years and of their strong political determination to come closer to the European Union. Their shared outlook on a prosperous economic model and their desire to live by the European spirit and with European values. For the European Union, it is a solemn commitment to support Georgia, Republic of Moldova and Ukraine each step of the way along the road of transforming their countries into stable, prosperous democracies. These association agreements are the logical and natural outcome of a path started more than 20 years ago when these countries became independent sovereign states. These agreements are also a landmark in our Eastern Partnership policy that set the objective of achieving political association and economic integration with our partners who were willing and ready to do so. The agreements signed today are the most ambitious that the European Union has entered into so far. They will enable our partner countries to drive reforms to consolidate the rule of law and good governance, and give an impetus to economic growth in the region by granting access to the world's largest internal market and by encouraging cooperation across a wide range of sectors. But let us be under no illusion. The task ahead is substantial. The association agreement's main objective is to help to deliver on the partner countries' own reforms, own ambitions. To succeed will require strong political will. It will require effective coordination within each of the partner governments. It will require each of them to reach out to their parliaments, to opposition, to civil society, in order to build a national consensus in favour of the measures required to guarantee a genuine and sustainable transformation. No international agreement can ever replace the momentum and political leadership within the country itself. Key issues to address to make the reform process successful and irreversible include reforming judiciary systems and public administration, improving efficiency and transparency, and fighting corruption. It is also important to state that we are not seeking an exclusive relationship with our three partners, with Georgia, Republic of Moldova and Ukraine. We believe in open societies, open economies, open regionalism. These agreements are positive agreements. They are meant to add more momentum to our partners' established international relations, not to compete with or intrude in our partners' relations with any neighbour. These agreements are for something. They are not against anyone. We are well aware of our partners' aspirations to go further, and we acknowledge their European choice. As we have stated before, these agreements do not constitute the end point of the European Union's cooperation with its partners. Quite the opposite. Signing these association agreements with deep and comprehensive free trade areas should not be seen as the end of the road, but as the beginning of a journey on which the European Union and these three partner countries are embarking together today. I thank you for your attention.
I now give the floor to His Excellency Mr. Irakli Garibashvili, Prime Minister of Georgia.
Dear President Van Rompuy, dear President Barroso, dear colleagues, heads of state and the government, ladies and gentlemen, this day stirs great emotions and excitement in every Georgian. And this is why I would like to address my compatriots, each and every citizen of Georgia and the world, in my native language, to convey and share my emotions and feelings with you. Დღეს საქართველო დიდ ნაბიჯს დგამს თავისუფალი ევროპისკენ. Me βούλωσam დღეს თელ საქართველოს და საქართველოს თითოეულ მოქალაქეს. დღევანდელი დღე ეს არის ისტორიული დღე. 27 ივნისი ეს არის დღე, რომელიც ყველას დაგვამახსოვრდება როგორც ისტორიული და განსაკუთრებული. ყველა ერის ისტორიაში არის თარიღები, რომლებითაც ისინი ამაყობენ. დღეს ჩემი სამშობლოს ისტორიაში იწერება ახალი დიდი თარიღი. ჩვენ იმედებს ვისახავს და რომლითაც ჩვენი შთამომავლობა იამაყებს. და სწორედ ამ დღის დადგომაზე ფიქსა და ზრუნვას შეალია ცხოვრება არაერთმა თაობამ. და მე ბედნიერი ვარ, რომ სწორედ ჩვენს თაობას ხვდა წილად პატივი, რომ სინამდვილად ექცია ჩვენი წინაპრების ოცნება. ძალიან ძნელია ჩემთვის სიტყვით გამოვხატო ის გრძნობა, რომელსაც ახლა მე განვიცდი. როგორც ერთი ქართველი საქართველოს მოქალაქე. და მე დარწმუნებული ვარ, რომ ახლა ჩემს სამშობლოში ყველას ეს ემოცია აქვს. დღეს საქართველოს ეძლევა ისტორიული შანსი, რომ დაუბრუნდეს თავის ბუნებრივ გარემოს, ევროპას, მის პოლიტიკურ, ეკონომიკურ, სოციალურ და კულტურულ სივრცეს. სივრცეს, რომელსაც ჩვენი ქვეყანა ათასწლეულების განმავლობაში ხელოვნურად იყო მოწყვეტილი. June 27 is also unique because it sets a precedent in the history of our country when Georgia draws up on a national consensus and shared values and expresses strong and unwavering will to become associated with a great political and economic union. And this day marks the beginning of a completely new stage in the relations between Georgia and the European Union. This day is the manifestation of Georgia's democracy and European Union and European nature. And it is the beginning of a great journey to reinforce these values and ties. Georgia has the most ancient history and culture. And the Georgians, with their unique culture and traditions, must join Europe and make their contribution to the European Union of democratic nations, to its diverse culture, to the cause of strengthening peace and ensuring stability. And thanks to our strategic location and unwavering commitment to European and Euro-Atlantic integration, Georgia is a reliable bridge. We offer a dynamic market for business. We offer a secure alternate corridor for European energy safety. And we offer capable and reliable partnership for international security. We offer an example of successful reform and the voice for peace and cooperation in the region. Georgia does not view Europe only as a political choice. We have shared common values and worldviews with Europe since time immemorial. And this is exactly what we value the most. This is exactly why Georgia has always considered itself as part of European civilization. And despite the multitude of trials and tribulations in the centuries of all history of Georgia, our country has never lost ties with European ideals, values, and culture, constantly seeking ways to return to the European family. It is the people of Georgia who, because of these shared values, have chosen democracy, have chosen reforms, and have chosen the irreversible path of European integration. Today we are taking new steps on this path. Drawing closer to Europe provides all of Georgians with new opportunities. Every citizen of Georgia, including, of course, our compatriots living in Abkhazia and Ossetia. This is why I address my brothers and sisters, Abkhazians and Ossetians. My dears, we're all the children of one country, one land. From now on, you, together with us, are sharers in this process. You have a unique opportunity to enjoy all the benefits provided by association with Europe, which includes visa-free travel to EU member states, access to the European market for business persons, participation in European education programs, and many more. Dear friends, ladies and gentlemen, by signing the association agreement, my country commits itself to the gradual establishment of European political, economic, social and legislative standards, which will bring prosperity and stability to our country and people. Thus, the association agreement is the master plan for European integration of Georgia. And by gradual legislative harmonization with the European Union, Georgia will achieve political association and economic integration with the Union and firmly anchor the country to the European institutions. By successfully implementing the association agreement and through consistent policies, we aim fully to exploit and bring the opportunities and benefits opened by the agreement to all strata of our society. Allow me to use this opportunity to extend our heartfelt congratulations to our friends, the Ukrainian and Moldovan nations and my colleagues on signing this agreement with the European Union. I believe that it is symbolic to have our three countries sign this most important agreement today, which will not only bring us closer to Europe, but will also lay the foundation for ever closer cooperation between Georgia, Ukraine, and Moldova, and will pave the way for our common European future. And allow me to reiterate that becoming a full member of the unified European family, once and for all, is Georgia's unwavering will. The association agreement is the very foundation upon which Georgia's European future will build. And this historic agreement will help us achieve our goals and will play an important role in making our country's European dream come true. The signing of the association agreement marks the beginning of a new stage in our European integration, an interesting and demanding path toward Europe, which requires a great deal of effort, selflessness, and mutual support from all of us, the government, political forces, and society alike. I certainly hope that through your assistance and support, we will succeed in pursuing this path. And I am convinced that soon Georgia will become a full member of the unified European family. That is the European Union. Thank you very much indeed.
I now give the floor to His Excellencies Mr. Iurie Leancă, Prime Minister of the Republic of Moldova.
Monsieur le Président du Conseil européen, Monsieur le Président de la Commission européenne, Mesdames et Messieurs les chefs d'État et de gouvernement, la Moldavie et l'Union européenne sont désormais unies. Cette journée est historique. Elle revêt une signification bien particulière. Je pourrais la définir d'un seul mot, avenir. Un avenir. Et pas seulement meilleur avenir, tout simplement un avenir. La jeune République de Moldavie a connu depuis son indépendance des hauts et des bas, des espoirs déçus et des réalisations remarquables. Nous nions par la réalité. Aujourd'hui encore, de nombreux problèmes persistent. Personne mieux que moi ici ne mesure les défis qu'il nous reste à relever. Mais les choses changent. Elles changent rapidement et surtout dans le bon sens. Depuis l'avènement en 2009 d'une coalition gouvernementale européenne, la Moldavie a fait un choix. Et ce choix est définitif. C'est celui de l'intégration européenne. Ce choix, bien sûr, nous oblige. Il nous donne aussi la force d'aller de l'avant. Le long de ce parcours stratégique, nous n'avons pas le droit ni de faire de compromis, ni d'hésiter, et ce afin de réaliser un objectif primordial. C'est celui de devenir membre à part entière de cette grande famille de l'Union européenne. Nous savons combien ce parcours est exigeant. Nous n'en sous-estimons nullement les difficultés, mais n'ayez aucun doute quant à notre détermination. tout sera mis en œuvre pour réformer et moderniser la Moldavie. Mon pays est soumis à de très fortes tensions, comme tout l'ensemble de la région. Et vous le savez tous autant que moi. Aujourd'hui, c'est peut-être aux confins orientaux de l'Union européenne que les valeurs fondatrices de l'intégration européenne sont les plus mises à l'épreuve. C'est aussi là que l'on trouve les partisans les plus déterminés de l'intégration européenne. Ils ont besoin de votre soutien, ils le méritent. Et permettez-moi de vous remercier, chers collègues, pour accomplir notre objectif d'intégration européenne, pour votre coopération et la solidarité avec mon pays. Mesdames et messieurs, je voudrais continuer ce discours dans une autre langue officielle de l'Union européenne, la langue roumaine, qui est aussi la langue de mon pays. Pentru Moldova, Europa este cea mai clară și grăitoare imagine a vieții pe care ne-o dorim și pe care o vom avea. O viață mai bună, o viață demnă și o viață trăită în pace. Pentru aceasta va trebui să muncim din greu. Dar cred cu tărie că vom merge înainte și nu înapoi. Și asta deoarece integrarea europeană ne va face mai puternici. Mă gândesc acum la moldovenii de acasă, dar și la cei stabiliți în afara țării, care ne susțin arborând apelul moldovenesc și cel european în zeci de orașe din toată lumea. Dragi concetățeni, ziua de azi este istorică, dar în scrutinul parlamentar din toamnă va trebui să confirmăm că într-adevăr am ales viitorul și că ne-am rupt de trecut. Va fi un determinant care va cimenta cursul european al țării și perspectiva de aderare la Uniunea Europeană. Atunci când la 29 noiembrie 2013 parafam la Vilnius acordul de asociere, vă spuneam că am asigurat drumul nostru spre Uniunea Europeană. Astăzi vă promit că vom merge până la capăt pe acest drum și că vom reveni acasă, în Europa. Thank you for your attention.
I now give the floor to His Excellency Mr. Petro Poroshenko, President of Ukraine.
Dear Presidents, dear Prime Minister, dear Presidents, dear Prime Minister, distinguished guests, what a great day. Maybe most important day for my country after the Independence Day. A moment that is both historical and future-oriented. It shows how dramatically things can change in a short time if people is strong enough. I will sign up association agreement by the pen, which mention EU-Ukraine Association Agreement, Vilnius, 29 of November. It was not happened then. But the pen is the same, demonstrating historic events are unavoidable. The documents that we will sign today is not just political and economic. It is a symbol of faith and of unbreakable will. It is a tribute to people who gave their lives and health to make this moment happen. And it is the strongest reminder what today's Europe is and must be about. People's determination to live in a better, fairer world. With this in mind, I congratulate each and every one of us. It took Ukraine 7 long years to walk the thorny road towards the political association and economic integration with the European Union. This road saw its ups and downs, but today we are finally here. All Ukraine, including Crimea, starting to be a member of association agreement with the European Union. Dear friends, united Europe is in all nation interest. Yet this doesn't mean that it has no opponents. There have been many efforts to undermine the European unification project, like they did in Ukraine throughout last months. With Ukraine, Georgia, Moldova lining up with the EU economically, a lot is at stake. First and foremost, the success of freedom and democracy in the post-Soviet space. It will depend on the ability of these three countries to implement necessary reform stipulated by the agreement. Of course, all of us would have wished to sign up agreement under different, more comfortable circumstances. On the other hand, the external aggression faced by Ukraine gives another strong reason for this crucial step. By signing this agreement, Ukraine takes enormous commitment in terms of reform. But it is a document of joint ownership and joint responsibility. So in the spirit of the political association, we also expect the European Union to put an effort to support our sovereign choice and protect Ukraine's independence and territorial integrity. But also it will depend on Europe's solidarity with these three countries that paid a high price to be in Europe and with Europe. Will Europe be free or partly free? Will it have to worry about more war and annexation, or will be confident in future? These aren't idle questions. And the answer will depend on success or failure of the documents that we will sign today. Ukraine is determined to make it work. Our three countries embark on the way of painful but long overdue reform. Economic integration and political association with the European Union. That's our understanding of successful development. To make it work, we are ready to proceed with a ratification as soon as possible. We do hope ratification in EU capitals will ensure promptly. Dear friends, over the last month, Ukraine paid the highest possible price to make her European dreams come true. It must be worth something, for instance, to finally consider a simple statement of the part of the EU. Once Ukraine will be ready, it will be in. A statement that could cost the EU nothing, but would mean the world of my country. Therefore, in the context of today's signing, I would like to make a unilateral declaration. By signing the agreement with the European Union, Ukraine, as a European state, sharing common values of democracy and rule of law, is underlying its sovereign choice in favour of future membership in EU in accordance with Article 49 of EU Treaty. The association agreement is considered by Ukraine as an instrument of comprehensive cooperation to the achievement of this goal. The EU, more than just an exclusive club of rich nations. The EU is an idea, the right answer for Europe. And today, we all, EU and non-EU, make an important step to turn this idea to the reality. I thank all of you, dear presidents, dear head of the government, dear President of the Commission, dear President of the Council, dear commissioners, Commissioner Füle, Commissioner de Gucht, all the commissioners, because this is the result of our joint efforts, which reach today very important delivery to the people of Ukraine and to the people of European Union. Слава Європейському Союзу, слава Україні!
The signing ceremony is about to begin. We will start with the signature of the association agreement, including deep and comprehensive free trade agreement with Georgia.
I know, here I'm now, but I had not enough time, everything in the train, because it is easy for me, and I had no time just to write everything in the train. Only the last sentence. And in Georgia also, in Georgian, only in Moldova, I had not enough time because it was in Georgia. The last sentence, did you saw on the video my Georgian language? Was understandable?
Free trade areas with the Republic of Moldova.
I tried my best.
Grazie.
You miss the lips.